Because you might have heard the expression death by PowerPoint. It's not so much a sudden violent death, it's more of a slow strangulation, isn't it? Has anybody ever sat in a presentation and felt like dying? You don't mean now, do you? So why do people get it so wrong? What do they do that sort of misfires in the way that it does? Well, I would suggest this, maybe a couple of things. First of all, I think people misunderstand what presentations are for. They often use PowerPoint as a way of getting across complex information, lots of data. They often feel that the more they pack in, the more value they're delivering. And I think that's a mistake. I really believe in the principle of less is more. I think a lot of the time, the less you put in, but if you deliver it well, the more value you deliver. The second thing I think that people struggle with is they often use the tools of PowerPoint to be clever or to get their message across better by shouting louder. And by shouting louder, I mean things like underlining, big text, colors, lots of colors everywhere, an animation. People often be very proud that they've done a beautiful sort of coffee cup on a saucer with smoke coming off it or steam for the coffee break. And they've taken 4 hours to put it together, are very excited about it. But the trouble is that the animation and the bullet points and so forth don't actually lend anything to the message. And I think that the key thing that I always try and sort of stress to people is it's about the message. It's about the point that you want to get across. It's the story, it's the narrative. And I also think that a lot of the time people lose sight of the fact that they're giving lots of data out, but they don't actually deliver a coherent message. I think there's a really nice way of structuring a story in a presentation. By story, I don't necessarily mean once upon a time when there was a beautiful princess. I mean a structure. And it goes like this. You start off by building up the problem. Okay, you highlight the issue. You create, some speakers say, you create dissonance. You build the problem up. And it's a problem that you can all empathize with. You'll say, yes, I understand that. I know what it means to be there. I'm there now, or I have been before. That's the beginning. In the middle bit, you explore. You get into that issue a little bit more deeply. You probe, maybe provide some insights. It's where you really show that you have some expertise in that particular field. It's where you can demonstrate your credibility and gain respect. And then in the final bit, you'll give some hope. It's the bit where you suggest some tools, some things that people can take away, which they can perhaps use to deal with the issue that you've highlighted. So you send them away perhaps in a more optimistic place than they were when they came in. It's a really nice structure to make for a presentation because it gives it some flow, it gives it some logical order,